Trump is a racist, not his voters, at least not all of them. A lot of them are actually good people. Now, why I say he's a racist? Well, think about this. In the 1970s, housing discrimination, okay, in the 1970s, his stance on the Central Park 5, all of these things indicative that Donald Trump is a racist. And his comments, what about comments about various countries and ethnic groups? Shithole, this or that. And of course, he targeted Somalian community in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, because of their skin color. His administration, even today, if you are a person of color and you apply for a new passport or renew your American passport, you'll be flagged by his administration. His administration also tried to remove slavery exhibitions in Philadelphia. So when he says, oh, I have black friends who are supporting me and therefore I'm not racist, it's something just a farce. It's a show, it's a lie. He is, at the end of the day, is a complete and utter racist. Take a listen at this video. They will be discussing all of this. But before I play the video, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel if you're not yet. Take a listen.
How about Nicki Minaj? Do we love Nicki Minaj? Right? I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. Herschel Walker, speaking about loyal, how good a football player was Herschel? I would say there can't be a greater football player than Jim Brown. By the way, Lawrence Taylor, great friend. The great Lawrence Taylor. Muhammad Ali, who was a friend of mine. I put a picture of myself and Muhammad. It was another piece of work. You talk about a piece of work. But he could fight, couldn't he? Huh? Mike Tyson, boy, I tell you, Mike has been loyal to me. Whenever they come out, they say, Trump's a racist. You know, it's like a statement. Trump's a racist. Mike Tyson goes, he's not a racist.
It's like your drunk uncle at Thanksgiving going, oh, at the thing. Like, what are we doing? Like, what was that? Why would he think that based on his recent track record that any of that flies?
Because anybody who's accused of racism or homophobia or discrimination says, here, look at my black friend. Look at my Latino friend. Look, I actually have a Jewish friend. I can't be anti-Semitic. I mean,
yeah, I mean, the reason he is saying this kind of stuff, that I'm not racist, quote unquote, as Donald Trump claims, is because, as I said in the beginning of this video, all of his followers, they're not racist. A lot of them are good people, decent people, and a lot of them actually are now turning away from his MAGA camp. So he knows it. He needs to win the midterm election. So therefore is the right time to pull at the heartstrings of those people and claim yourself to be someone who is not racist. But we know you are. The only reason you're saying you're not racist is because you need those votes.
Want to be the intern that had to remind it was Black History Month. Mr. President, you told me to let you know when it was February. Yeah, I know. Get the podium out there. Let's get this over with. He didn't want to be out there.
Well, look, I think actions. I'm a big actions speak louder than words type of person. He may have all the friends in the world, but when he's trying to take slavery off of an exhibit in Philadelphia, that speaks very loudly.
Yeah. So I'll address the first part, then I'll get to that. I think he needed to celebrate Black History Month. I'm not aware of any year from the previous term that he didn't celebrate it, and I think we'd probably be having a very different conversation tonight if it wasn't acknowledged, considering the history of Black Americans in this country. That said, the Pennsylvania thing is a bit concerning to me. I don't understand why this would be a priority for any lower-level cabinet person focusing on removing exhibitions about slavery. There were some things I think about women's rights, maybe LGBT individuals as well who've made historical contributions. It's not necessary. It's very divisive. We have midterms coming up. We already know the economy is an issue that Republicans are struggling on. And the point that I'm trying to make here is when you've had a very diverse coalition electorally speaking in 24, you're going to fragment that very necessary coalition of very persuadable voters that you need to turn out, because some of those folks may be frankly turned off by some of this.
And doubling down on that to the Obama video, it kept his reaction to it kept the story alive for far longer than it could have been. The buck stops at his desk. It shouldn't have been up. I made a mistake. It's gone. Instead, we lingered on it. And it's clear to me that one of the things that bothers Trump a lot is being called a racist. I don't believe he fancies himself that way. I don't think many people, at least folks in that room, I don't particularly think he is, although I have very much disagreements, just like Shermichael, about Philadelphia and other things. When he talks about criminal justice reform, I think he really cared about that issue. When he talked about opportunity zones, I actually really do think he cared about trying to bring prosperity into minority-heavy neighborhoods. I do actually think he cares about bringing crime down in those neighborhoods across America that he's trying to focus on. I do think he cares about that. I do think, however, he steps on those messages when things like this Philadelphia example.
Every black person he name checked today is a celebrity. So my question is...
No, there was a grandmother who lost her son to violence who spoke about it.
Yeah.
His criminal czar who was
Okay, they were featured speakers, but these are not people who are his friends. These are people who were there as scheduled speakers. Okay, well, listen. It's not that people say that Trump is a racist. It's that the housing department in the 1970s said he and his father were racist. It's that the Central Park Five, for whom he demanded the death penalty and has never apologized, think he's a racist. It's just that this week he used the death of Jesse Jackson to attack Barack Obama in the statement he put out on Truth Social. Barack Obama, who lives rent-free in his head. He has got a long track record. It's calling the countries that people like I come from shithole countries. It's saying that Haitians eat cats and dogs. I mean, we could sit here all night and trace back all of the racist things he has said and done through his lifetime, not just his president.
Well, and it's not just him. It's also Stephen Miller, and it's all of the people surrounding him. And one of the first acts that they did was make sure that they have a problem. They want everyone to know they have a problem with diversity. Diversity is what makes this country strong. It is what makes this country great. And the entire Republican Party wants to completely erase diversity.
That's not.
I mean,
exactly.
How many
entire
times,
Republican Party,
how many
half
times,
of the country.
I will say the Republican Party goes out, or at least the core.
That's a logical fallacy.
At least at the core of the Republican Party has been against DEI.
Do you not acknowledge that this anti-diversity, anti-DEI thing has been a core tenet of the second Trump
administration? That's not my issue. She said the entire Republican Party.
They're
that's
against
half
DEI.
Of the country. I'm not telling me half of the country is racist.
Fine, I'm not saying that they're racist. All I'm saying,
she didn't say that. But if you think the anti-DEI thing is racist, that's
I haven't given an opinion on DEI. That's not my point. I just think we shouldn't be flippant calling half of the country racist.
I'm saying they support a president in this administration who is against DEI. I mean, that is just the reality.
And
I don't know how many times
you've worked with Republicans.
I've worked with Republicans, and I don't know how many times even.
You think all of them are racist?
I am not saying they're racist. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm saying they are against diversity.
I'm very confused.
Hold on, I want to go back to this diversity.
But I think when you say anti-diversity, I think most people say, well, if you're anti-diversity,
the larger point.
No, that's not what I said. They do not want diversity. They do not want diversity in their administration. Period. End of story.
When people hear anti-diversity, I mean, I can just tell you, people typically think if you're anti-diversity, then you're probably a racist person.
But why does the president want diversity in his administration?
Ask Trump. I don't know. I'm not Trump.
Well, why is the Republican Party for it?
That's a really important statement that you just made. I mean, I'm not sure that even people would go that far. You just suggested that being anti-diversity is equivalent to being racist.
I think many people would say it that way.
Well, this is an administration who has been explicitly anti-diversity. The Department of Defense has banned celebrations of Black History Month.
That's not my quarrel. My issue is calling the entire Republican Party racist.
I'm just saying.
Every single person that voted Republican.
Just to be
clear.
Like,
come on. That sounds like BS, and I can't say what I really want to say, but that sounds like BS.
I think anti-diversity doesn't really prove someone who is a racist, outright racist, but it does indicate what that person thinks about people of color and people from different countries. That's for sure.
And explicitly anti-diversity have
That's
gone
fine to be
line
critical.
by line.
That's fine to be critical of Trump. It's fine to be critical of the administration. But you cannot cast aspersions against the entire party.
Listen, the vast majority of the party supports everything he does, including this. Okay, Anna did a great job of ticking off several things that he's done. What we shouldn't do is sit here and pretend that the facts aren't the facts. Okay, why isn't a flag at half staff for Jesse Jackson? You wrote an amazing book about Jesse Jackson, who was instrumental in changing the way the Democratic Party pulled in minorities. And there's not a flag for this guy. So with all due respect, if you want to mince words about, was it all the Republicans, half the Republicans, three-quarters of the Republicans? Hang on a second. The point is that it's very simple for the average guy and woman sitting at home. They look at a pattern of behavior of any human being and say, that's what that guy is. Trump has gone from 30% to 13.5% black voter support in the last year. Do you know why he's doing the slavery thing in Philadelphia? One more second.
I'm
not lecturing, but I should be. The fact that you're an African American doesn't mean that I can't make this point. That's not fair. You're trying to manipulate the conversation. I'm not going to let you do that. So what I'm saying is, when he does all of these things, just to wrap this up, when he does all of these things and people see it, he doesn't care in the second term because he doesn't need the black vote anymore because he's not running again.
That's exactly is a very good point. He doesn't care about these things anymore. He's just out there to claim to be not racist so that his legacy will not be he's a racist. He doesn't want that, even though he is a racist, but he doesn't want that to happen, that people will remember him as a racist. So this guy's playing games with us, but we know Donald Trump doesn't mean a word when he says, I'm not a racist, blacks are my friends. No, he's just using the blacks for the voters for the midterm. And after that, I think he's just going to show his true color, and that is he is a complete and utter racist.